Hello, everyone. My name is Joy Santana, and I'll be presenting my research paper topic, which is Does Mass Incarceration Target Minorities? One of the major issues that greatly affects society is mass incarceration. Mass incarceration, otherwise known as mass imprisonment, is the increase of population inside of a prison. Since the war on drugs, the population in our prison system has experienced a massive boom. Many minorities were being targeted by law enforcement since our government wanted to become tougher on crime. The war on drugs left an impact to many minority communities as many individuals experienced the violence and the destruction of their families. Post war on drugs, society still experienced incarceration rates increase at an alarming rate. As the incarceration rates increased, society began to notice the increase of the minority population in prison. This left society with the question: Does mass incarceration target minorities? The answer is yes, it does. Mass incarceration does target minorities since many events throughout the decades prove that people of color are being targeted and are being placed in prisons for long periods of time. During the late 1900s, there was an increase of population inside of our prison system. The war on drugs or the war on crime was steadily increasing, which means that there was a war on the people. The war on drugs was a theme put in place to target minorities, but at the same time reduce crime. Many people believe that the war on drugs theme was a way to set up people of color, and advertise them as the reason why all the crimes are occurring. Many African Americans and Hispanics living in neighborhoods that are disadvantaged fall victim into the ongoing issue of mass incarceration. Every day, minorities such as African Americans and Hispanics are being stopped by police for no reason. There are many people in low-income neighborhoods who do not have enough resources to maintain a normal standard of living, causing many minorities to turn to the life of the streets to survive. In doing so, they begin to be involved in large numbers of police altercations, causing many disputes that eventually leads to unnecessary arrest. Minorities in the low neighborhoods are at a disadvantage when it comes to resources. Most low-income neighborhoods in the United States contain people of color. In our prison system, roughly two-thirds of the population are minorities, which are African Americans or Hispanics. Let that sink in real quick. America has about 4% of the world's people and about 25% of the world incarcerated. In the screen, and as you see in the screen, this represents the United States incarceration rate by race and ethnicity per 100,000 people incarcerated. 115 Asians, 450 whites, 831 Latino, 1,017 Native and Hawaiian/Pacific Islander, 1,291 American Indian or Alaska Native, and 2,306 Black. As you see now, this is Brownsville, New York. This is the projects in Brownsville, New York. In Brownsville, New York, the household income is roughly around 27,861. The school rate in Brownsville is a high school diploma. And in Brownsville, the risk of robbery in the area is 37% higher than the national average. And the risk of murder in the area is 15% higher than the national average. Now we see Battery Park, New York. Battery Park, New York has annual household income of $169,360. And the crime rates in Battery Park is the risk of burglary in the area is 94% lower than national average. The risk of assault in the area is 83% lower than the national average. The risk of robbery in this area is 90% lower than the national average. Risk of rape in this area, 94% lower as well. Risk of murder in this area, 98% lower than the national average, and 95% lower that your car will be robbed. Now it's presented to you on the screen. This is the death penalty pie chart. This is the pie chart placed by racial group, and this shows the amount of people that are in line for the death penalty. As you can see, roughly around close to 45% are Black, and then the rest other is about around 13%, and then the whites are about 45%. So this shows that majority of people of color are being sentenced to the death penalty more than the whites. Many people of color experiences harsher sentence because they do not have the money to afford bail or a proper attorney. People of color tend to experience harsher sentences, such as the death penalty. As you guys can see, the death penalty for people of color is more than half. I believe that opportunities should be brought to low-income neighborhoods, such as jobs, opportunities, more program for people who are trying to finish or get in higher education. And lastly, it should be gentrified to reduce the stigma they have. So, in conclusion, thank you everyone for watching. Mass incarceration does affect minorities because if they were given proper job opportunities, more programs to achieve higher academic success, their crime rates would have been less, and there would be probably less people of color incarcerated, since they have the resources necessary to maintain themselves and avoid crime. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.